Welcome to the Real Film Nerds
Harvest Horror Fest.
Hello, Real Film Nerds. This is another exciting episode of the Harvest Horror Fest. This is episode number 2 of the Harvest Horror Fest 2020, and episode overall number 192. And we're talking about Friday the 13th, 1980. Don't be confused with that other newer one that came out in 2009. That one's terrible. I think it's time to go to camp. What do you think, Matt?
I never left camp, Michael.
And as you just heard, there's my wonderful co-host, Matt, and I am one of your other hosts, Mysterious Mike Talent, and I'm in charge of the intro for the Harvest Horror Fest, and so let's get going.
Did you just take
Matt,
a sip of your beer that I'm going to have to edit out, you son of a bitch? You call me wonderful, and I just cussed you out. I'm sorry, Mike.
So
ooh, I know what you're drinking, too. I could tell. Okay, that's not till later. Sorry. I keep interrupting. Okay, go ahead, Mike. Continue your diatribe. Sorry. I apologize. Listeners, I apologize. I will go back in my corner.
All right, Matt. So, you ready to go to Camp Crystal Lake, where your sex drive is your ticket to your death?
Always. I would have died many times over, Mike.
Nice. I think that's somewhat of the point.
Oh, okay. But I never would have been hooking up with hot-ass girls like that to begin with, though. Especially not in high school. I'm not cool enough.
Right. Gotcha. So this movie is, a classic slasher movie, somewhat like Halloween, or like, I guess, kind of like Psycho. I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
Well, but they don't consider Psycho a slasher, really.
Okay.
I read an article about what is considered the first slasher film because I was trying to see if Halloween was considered it, and it's not even Halloween. There was Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974, I think. And they consider that one the original slasher.
Oh, okay.
But again, that was just according to this one article by this one film website, which probably doesn't mean anything. So I personally like to consider Halloween.
So is it like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Friday the 13th?
Yeah, they're all definitely slashers, but I would say, I still think Halloween's like the one that really, really opened up the door for slashers. And then Friday the 13th just like brought it to another level by having it at a camp and not letting you know who the murderer was and all these other things.
Yeah. Reading some of the trivia things for this movie, it talked about how they kind of wanted this to be a mix-up of Halloween and was it Porky's or whatever? It's like a teen movie, so they wanted to have like this slasher, but what kind of teen-oriented movie? Because they saw the success of Halloween and they wanted to kind of copy it, really.
With a lot more nudity.
Yeah, there was some nudity in this, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many of them did you watch? Because if I'm not mistaken, Michael, for those of you who do not know, this is not one that's streaming anywhere, really. You can watch it on AMC if you actually pay for the AMC streaming service, which I literally don't know anyone. But it's on AMC. They have the whole Friday the 13th franchise right now, like all of them. And they were playing them all, continuously throughout the day because it's Halloween. And for the entire, it's October. For the entire month of October, AMC plays nothing but horror movies. And they've been playing a lot of the Friday the 13th, all of them pretty much, all back to back to back to back. So if you have normal cable or satellite or whatever, you can record it. Or if you can log into an AMC account and watch it that way, you can do it. Other than that, we had to buy it. So Mike ended up purchasing, did you get the Blu-rays or the DVDs?
I got the Blu-rays, man.
I ended up getting the DVDs at Walmart for like $15, but they came with the digital copies of them in high definition. So that was pretty sweet.
Oh, that is sweet.
But it's all 8 of them, and it's a super extended cut of the original, which I did not watch. I watched the theatrical cut. but I continued watching more than just the original. Mike, how far did you make it? Did you watch all 8 in a weekend or just one?
No, I just had time for the one. So I do plan to watch the first 8. I'm a real big fan of the one with the kinetic energy. That one is cool. Like the girl who can like control stuff with her mind. That one's real good. It's kind of like a Stephen King movie with Jason.
It's like the X-Men with Jason?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, I watched the first and the second one. That's as far as my mother and I got. And she really did not like the second one, especially how much nudity was in it and how it was nothing but a bunch of people running around screaming and getting murdered. She was like, the first one is so much better. My mom really enjoys the original, much like myself.
Yeah, the first one's a pretty good movie. It really does start to go downhill with the first sequel and just kind of descends into sequel madness just to make a buck here and there. And, you know, I won't lie, I've seen all of them. I paid for quite a few of them. I don't know.
Now, Mike, have you ever played the video game?
I haven't. There's a new video game, right, Matt? But I played the old video game.
There's a newish video game. There's been multiple video games based on Friday the 13th. There's even a video game that was based on Friday the 13th, but not related to it, called Splatterhouse. Do you remember Splatterhouse?
Yes, I do remember Splatterhouse. Wow.
When we played that one as a kid. I had it on my Game Boy or Sega Genesis or something. Or maybe, you know, a handheld device and something else. I don't know. Anyways, I loved Splatterhouse, but they couldn't get the licensing for Friday the 13th, so that's how they came up with Splatterhouse, but it's pretty much the same game as the movie. But yeah, the current one is really a lot of fun if you are okay with playing online with a bunch of strangers. It's not the world's best game, but the best part of playing the one currently on the current Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, not this upcoming generation, the current generation, is that you can play as Jason. And if you get to play as Jason, like the different unlocks are the different outfits and the different masks throughout all the films. So like you can have the Jason from the second one where it's a bag over his head. It's not a hockey mask. And then you can get different, you know, machetes and all that other stuff. And the goal of Jason is to run around and kill everyone. And he is super overpowered. He kills everyone without even like trying. And the goal of the camper, if you play as a camper, is to get in one of the cars or I think maybe the boat and escape. And if you do that, you win. Hardly anybody ever escapes because Jason's so overpowered, he just slaughters everyone. But I always wanted to play with people that I knew so I could enjoy it and talk to them instead of a bunch of strangers because I keep my microphone off. Because let's face it, people are terrible, especially on video games. So it's not a whole lot of fun for me because I'm not talking and I'm not communicating with people I know and want to play the game with. But that 1 in a million chance when I got to play as Jason, it was freaking awesome running around slaughtering everyone. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. Did you trash talk anybody then or just still silent?
No, because when you're Jason, you don't talk to anyone. You're on your own.
Well, I mean, I know Jason doesn't say anything. In fact,
no, but you can't communicate with anybody because it's separate teams.
Oh, okay.
So when you're Jason, you're on your own. You're like your own team.
Yeah. But speaking about talking and Jason, I think he only says two words and it's help twice in this movie, and that's it. The rest of the franchises, he never says anything ever.
He says help in this movie?
Yeah, like when he's
okay.
The flashback. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, because I was trying to spin my mind. I was like, oh no, I guess that technically counts when he was a child. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only time Jason says anything. Matt, what I like how this movie just kind of starts off with some kills. It's like gets you in the right mood, you know? You're like, all right, let's strap in. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I talked about on the radio this morning, Magic 99.1, for those of you who are in the Prescott area. One of my favorite things about this movie, and I don't really remember a whole lot of horror films doing this before this film. Again, I haven't seen nearly as many as you, and you probably will correct me. But one of the things I really love about Friday the 13th is you never see the killer until almost the very end. You never figure it out. Like, the perspective of these murders is from the perspective of the killer. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's first person. It's a lot like, Halloween did that. some first person, and then or Jaws. Like look at movie Jaws, which I guess is technically a horror movie. That movie, because they had all those problems, they just had the camera kind of the first person view, and then they had the music to let you know that it was the shark. Like, and this movie kind of has that, because when there's music, it's when the killer's you're watching the stuff through the killer's eyes. The rest of the movie doesn't have hardly any music or score or anything.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's so shocking who the killer really is at the end. But Jaws, it's a shark. Like, that's what the movie is. Like this, it could be anyone except for the people that are murdered. But it could be like anyone. Nobody knows. Is it the police officer? Is it the dude that's running the camp? Because you don't see him forever until he's eating at a diner randomly. Who is it?
Yeah,
when you find out,
you're right.
Completely different, and it's twisted.
No, it does. It is a pretty decent movie compared to all the other ones. Like, it's interesting how great everything degraded on all the following movies, and I guess it tends to with a lot of these horror movie sequels.
I think that's just horror movies and sequelitis and trying to squeeze as much blood out of a turnip as you can, kind of thing. What's another company that does that all the time? Great, that would be a wonderful freaking segue, but it is not that time, Mike, because you haven't asked me the question, but that would be a great segue.
Oh yeah, sorry, Matt. I can ask you right now. Matt, what are you drinking?
Well, Michael, thank you for asking. I'm drinking an Old Faithful. I'm going to continue as long as I have them just because I love this beer. I'm drinking another Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I freaking love Oktoberfest.
Matt, I think this might be the first time.
I know. I can see the bottle.
I think this might be the first time we've ever done this. I am drinking an Oktoberfest as well. Holy moly.
Maybe that should just be our tradition. Harvest Horror Fest and Oktoberfest. Goes together.
Oh, all right.
2 fests for the price of 1.
Yes.
Well, okay, Mike. So what I was going to, someone that likes to squeeze as much blood out of a turnip as possible, I wonder what studio company that is. I think it might go by the name of Disney. Oh, wait. Speaking of Disney, Mike, how does Friday the 13th from 1980, the original, relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh, man. Matt, this was a tougher one. 1980, is not too long ago. Well, I mean, I guess it is.
You weren't born yet.
Yeah, I guess it is a long time ago. It was 40 years ago. And I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to find anybody for the MCU. This smaller cast, I mean, this movie was made on a budget of $500,000. But I did prevail. So the MCU tie-in is Cecilia Verdania. Was a makeup artist and worked on Iron Man 3 as well as a makeup artist on that.
Nice. That's awesome. See, Mike, it continues, man. I want to find some, I don't want to make it really hard, but I'm sure, if we find a horror movie that's old enough, you won't be able to do it because they'll all probably be dead or something.
Yeah, I mean, like the horror movies tend to have smaller budgets and large returns. Like this movie was made, like I said, for $500,000, and I think it made $39 million. So that's a pretty decent reward.
Next to Halloween, I don't know if it does anymore, but Halloween used to hold a record for the most sales for an independent film. Now, Friday the 13th is a big studio film, though, but it's still pretty impressive for how small the budget is. And Mike, you know what? Before you say something, because I know you want to say something, you forgot to ask me about the breakdown.
Oh, man, I totally did. Matt, can you break this movie down for me? I totally skipped it.
I will break it down before we get into the spoiler discussion, because I think we've done pretty good on not spoiling it yet. And there's a massive spoiler in this film. That's why I tried not to spoil it on the radio as best I could, but it was kind of tough. Friday the 13th, 1980, not the 2009 version that I've not seen yet, is directed by Sean S. Cunningham. It's written by Victor Miller. It stars Betsy Palmer, Adrian King, Janine Taylor. Oh, I'm missing the next one. I got to go to the next down. Robbie Morgan, and our MCU tie-in inspiration, Sir Kevin Bacon. He's probably not a sir, but it just sounds better.
I thought he was K Bacon.
Sir K Bacon. Dude, imagine if he was a sir. He could just be Sir Bacon. That's almost like that commercial where they have the Earl of Sandwich. It's just K Bacon. All right, well, here, Mike, here's a little synopsis of the movie that we've now been talking about for over 15 minutes. A group of camp counselors are stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a summer camp, which was the site of a child's drowning and a grisly double murder years before.
All right, yeah. Good job, man. That was very dramatic.
Okay, Mike, go spoil it now.
I mean, I'm not going to do that main spoiler. I am going to ask you, Matt, did you keep track of the body count in this?
I didn't know I needed to keep track of the body count. Is that a thing we're doing now?
Well, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of fun. So.
Okay, how many bodies, Mike?
10.
10 bodies? That's it?
That's it. Jeez. Yeah. Compared to normal horror movies, man, what is that, like 0.1%?
Yeah, I mean, Saw alone is like 10 in the first opening credits.
Saw is another movie that started out awesome, low budget, great movie, and then the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth one kind of really jumped the shark.
They beat the hell out of that horse.
Yeah, they did.
This is too bad.
I mean,
too.
Characters died and actually came back to life in a couple of the movies. Kind of pulled a Fast and the Furious, like bullet to the head. Oh, she's alive.
But Mike, in this world today, in the year 2020, 40 years after Friday the 13th, we have films like John Wick, where literally like 2 scenes is over like 50 murders. So it's kind of hard to be like, oh, well, it's 10. It's, wow, 10. I mean, John Wick did that while he was taking a nap.
Yeah. All right. Well, John Wick's not the best one to compare to
it's
this.
Not a horror
yes,
movie.
Yes.
I know.
There's a lot of, we are exposed to a lot more crazy stuff in the more current recent movies.
Oh, yeah, your kids are going to come out great, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got to start Flynn watching the marathon of Friday the 13th soon,
Is that what he's going dressed up as for Halloween? Is Jason? You have like a little hockey mask for him? Like a little machete?
No, I don't know if we're going to be able to do trick-or-treating, man. Stupid COVID's ruined everything.
Dude, that would be so awesome. Then have Mags dress up as Mrs. Voorhees, and you could dress up as Kevin Bacon with like the arrow coming out of your neck.
That'd be a pretty hardcore Friday 13th fans. Oh, speaking of that, Matt, did you see, I think this was last year, it kind of went viral, is there was like wedding photographer, like, or engagement shoot or whatever, and then like Jason comes up behind him, and then they're like, there's all these pictures of them like running and then being slaughtered and stuff. Like it's
there's lots of people that do that cool stuff. Well, okay. Did I send this one to you? I swear I sent it to you.
You probably did send it to me.
No, this one I'm about to discuss. I'm sure I sent you that one too, because I follow a bunch of photo news websites. Not as much anymore because I'm no longer a photographer really. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'm not making 90% of my income anymore that way, or actually 100% of my income that way anymore. There is a organization that started in Arizona, and this also went viral. I don't remember the name, but I was following them and I shared it with you because I want to do it. And I was trying to get us to do it at work, but nobody would do it. It came out I don't know when the first time they did it, but over here in Arizona, in like some of the national forest places, you can rent cabins, and they're old historic cabins that you can stay in. Well, someone came up with the bright idea to do, it's like, not those like puzzle rooms, but it's like those puzzle rooms in a way where you pay for this experience of having Jason hunt you down over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
In the middle of the
Nice.
night. And like they really specialize on doing it on like full moons and stuff. One of the cabins, I think the dude that started it is either from Prescott or from like Cottonwood or something like that. Because one of the cabins that's eerily similar to Camp Crystal Lake, because we have a lot of camps here too, but it's just a national forest cabin, is over in Cordis Lakes. And it's just this cabin in the middle of nowhere. And it looks a lot like the Crystal Lake cabin and everything. I wanted to do that so bad as like a work like team building event or whatever. Nobody would go for it because they're like, no, I hate horror movies. I hate Jason. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be scared. I'm like, it'll be fun. Come on, you wussies. It was only like $30 a person. It would be so much fun.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty neat. I don't think Mags would be caught dead doing that, but yeah, that sounds pretty neat.
Well, that was the problem. I could get all the guys on board and all the women were like, no, screw that. I'm not doing that. Why would I pay for someone dressed up in a hockey mask and a machete to chase me through the woods? Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like fun to me. Yeah, that's neat. That's really neat. I guess there's always kind of going to be these fans just doing different things here and there. I think there's a lot of like fan movies and stuff on YouTube for Friday the 13th. This movie was really gory, especially for the time, and the MPAA actually regretted their decision to allow as much gore as they did in this. So they said when they made the sequel that they weren't going to approve as much gore. So they dialed it back on the sequel. And Matt, maybe that's why they put in all that nudity, try and balance it out, I guess, somehow. Also in this movie, it's kind of a weird thing. The snake scene is really a snake that they killed on camera. This is definitely before the times of PETA and all the different activist groups and stuff. Yeah, you could never get away with that stuff these days.
So there's no little teaser at the end that says no animals were harmed in the making of this film. So they killed that sumbitch and threw it at that dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good times. Good times. Was it a black mamba?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's a Kill Bill joke for those of you who are not movie nerds like us.
Anyway, that was kind of interesting to read about that. I guess most of the cast and crew, the filming of this took place in New Jersey, in a remote area of the woods or whatever, and it took 28 days to film this, and most of the cast and crew stayed in hotels and stuff, but a couple of the actors stayed out at Camp Crystal Lake the entire time, and they had a Betamax, and they watched 2 movies because that's all they had on it was like Barbarella and something else, and they just watched them every night over and over for 28 days.
Well, they must know those inside and out then.
I believe they said they'll be able to quote the movies forever.
What didn't they do like a thing every year where they would have like a Friday the 13th like fest and like open up the camp to like the public and people could come out there and stuff?
I don't know about that.
I thought it was something like that.
It is still a camp, I think. I mean, it's still a camp, and they have like a wall or something at the camp that's like paying tribute to that they were the place where it was filmed. Like,
dude, it's a cult following, man. It's a great film. I love it. It's a lot of fun. And I'm not a horror movie person, but this movie's good.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, for years, every Friday the 13th, around this time of year, they would marathon it on certain, like TBS and stuff. They used to do that, but I don't think they do that. I don't know. I don't have cable anymore, so I don't know.
Well, I remember it didn't matter like what day or what month it fell in, but whenever they had a Friday the 13th, they would always have the Friday the 13th marathon. And they would just play all the movies all day long. It was probably TBS or TNT or USA, one of those.
Yeah, I don't remember what channel it was, but I remember often I would just watch it, until I fell asleep or whatever. I'd just keep watching it on loop, like all these different Jason movies, and it was fun.
you're the one in charge of this pod. You got to direct us. Where are we going?
So,
what are we doing, Mike?
Yes. What are we doing? Well, Matt, why don't we talk about next week's Harvest Horror Fest movie, and that's The Lost Boys. So you can be like, Michael.
That's the only reason we picked it. Did I pick this one or did you pick this one?
I think you picked this
picked
one.
Lost Boys.
We wanted to do it for a couple.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I kept saying let's save it for Harvest Horror Fest.
Yeah, and so we finally are doing it, and this one's great. It's good vampire classic movie, and this one's going to be fun to review as well. So
my boss today, I was talking about it at work a little bit.
Yeah.
She was the one saying she would not do the Friday the 13th Jason thing ever. When I was alluding to that earlier about the camp, she was really against it. And I was telling her, well, next week we're going to do The Lost Boys. And she's like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I love that movie. I'm like, you don't like horror movies. She's like, but it's like the best. It's funny. It's, has Kiefer Sutherland. He's hot. It's the 80s. She's a child of the 80s. So she's going to be listening to next week's pod for sure.
All right. Well, I mean, Friday the 13th was 1980, but definitely The Lost Boys has that 80s flair because it's in California and, whatever. And yeah, so that'll be fun.
They got the hair. They got the music. They got the murdering.
They got like the boardwalk, the boardwalk thing or whatever.
Boardwalk.
Their like beach scene or yeah,
it's fun, man. I love The Lost Boys. That movie's awesome. So much fun.
It is fun.
So, all right, Mike. Well, what are we doing next then? Before you drink your beer.
I was about to drink my beer, Matt. I don't know. Do you want to do the final spoiler of this movie? Like, the kind of the big one? Like
I thought you said
twist?
You didn't want to do that.
Well, I don't know, man. You were alluding to that we were going to do the twist. Do we want to do the twist, or do we just want to say, if you haven't seen this, you got to go see it?
Yeah. I don't know. Your call, man. You're the boss of Harvest Horror Fest, and you're in charge of this podcast. So, Mike, what do you want to do? Do you want to spoil the biggest spoiler of the Friday the 13th franchise?
Oh, I guess when you say it like that, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, well, Jason is not the killer. It is Mrs. Voorhees.
In fact, Jason's not even mentioned till an hour and 16 minutes into this 90-minute movie.
Yeah, he's not even really in the movie at all. And when he is, he's, that's why it's so funny that's what I was pointing out today. I was really having a hard time trying to not spoil it for everyone. But the radio host today, Lisa, was like, oh man, I love Jason. I'm like, well, that's great, but Jason's not in this movie. And when I called in and she picked up the phone and she's like, this is Magic 99.1. Who's this? I'm like, it's Mrs. Voorhees. And she didn't even get it. I was like,
nice.
Hopefully there were some horror fans listening today. I don't know.
Oh, that was good. That was good, man.
I know. I thought it was pretty good. Like, she was upset that last weekend when I called last Monday when I called in and she asked, who is this? I didn't say the Leprechaun. I was like, oh, I should have said the Leprechaun. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been hilarious. Yeah. Oh, Matt, this movie is also we're going to release this one on what day is the Friday? The 16th?
The Friday's the 16th, but we're releasing this on the 14th.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. 14th. Yeah, I was right. All right.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah. Wednesday the 14th, not Friday the 13th.
No.
Oh,
we had a couple Friday the 13th this year. Just
we
not
did.
October.
We always do. Yeah, not October. But I mean, we're having 2 full moons in October. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. That's why everybody's crazy.
Well, they go real crazy on full moons, man.
One of them's on Halloween. Rut-row.
Yep, it's going to be good times.
So, all right, Mike, since you're not going to do it, I'll do it. Mike, how many reels?
All right, so I'm going to give this one 4.5 reels out of 5. Really, really like this one.
Dude, how are you giving it a higher rating than me? I give it 4.
Well, at least it's not the same. Ha!
No, Lisa was like, you're only giving it 4? I was like, yeah, I love this movie. It was great. She's like, not even 4.5? I'm like, no, I can't change my mind. I already set it in stone. It's 4.
All right. Well,
I should have given it
Going
more.
4.5, man.
I should have given it more. Oh well.
It's just it really is a good movie. It's not until the sequels come along that it gets pretty bad. Like this one's pretty creative and pretty well done. I mean, the acting is meh, but
Yeah, but it's
okay.
not as bad as the acting in the sequels. The sequels acting is real bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn it, I should have given it 4.5. Oh well, at least we're different.
Yeah, and then this isn't Kevin Bacon's debut in movies.
No, it was not.
His first was
Animal House, right? Yeah, I looked that up. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was definitely on a roll because he did, Animal House, then this one, and then he had like 3 or 4 movies. Man, he was just getting work everywhere. Man, I did see the other day. Guess what Scarlett Johansson horror movie she's in?
Oh, I should know this. Oh, dude, I don't remember, but I know she's done like 2 or 3 horror movies.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Hold on.
I was watching it.
Is it one of the Final Destination films?
No.
Damn it! I thought it was one of those.
You ready?
Yeah.
8-Legged Freaks.
What? I don't know if that counts as a horror movie. I mean, it is, but yeah, that's right. That's right. They filmed that. They did actually film that at Lake Havasu too. Like it takes place in Lake Havasu, and it is Lake Havasu where they filmed it.
Yeah. So that was funny. I was actually watching it the other day, and it's like, oh yeah, she's really in it.
Harvest Horror Fest, 2021. 8-Legged Freaks and Leprechaun 2 so far.
Okay. Well, yeah.
And
Sounds good.
Freddy versus Jason. No, I don't know. We do need to do Nightmare on Elm Street. Although, a horror movie that I enjoy, I watched as a kid and it scared the bejesus out of me. I watched it way too young. And it's a slasher film, but it always goes kind of by the wayside, even though it's very predominant, very scary, very big in this genre, is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh God, you watched that?
As a kid. When I say kid, I'm talking 6 or 7 years old.
The 70s version?
Yeah.
Oh man.
49-cent rental at Hastings, dude.
Dude, that one's terrifying.
It is. It scared the hell out of me when I was that young. I mean, some psycho dude dressed up as Santa Claus killing people? Yeah, that messed me up pretty good. It's probably why I'm the way I am.
Wow. Man, I watched Chucky when I was probably too young, and that was just pretty terrifying about your doll coming to life and basically killing you.
You know what messed me up on that one? Is I had one of those dolls that movie was based on.
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, that was real. I was real young when I had that doll, but it was called My Buddy.
Oh man.
And he wore the red overalls just like Chucky, and he had the rainbow striped shirt just like Chucky. It freaking luckily I didn't see that movie until I was a little bit older and I didn't have that doll anymore. But yeah.
I saw that movie pretty young because my cousins were like, "Oh, you need to watch this movie with us," and then I did, and then they were like, "Ha ha."
Oh, they're good people.
Yeah.
I like your cousins. They're fun.
Yeah, so I got exposed to that movie a little bit too young, I think.
Well, all right, Mike, you got anything else?
No. It's exciting for it to be Harvest Horror Fest this time of year. Hopefully everyone is getting the chance to celebrate, whether it's watching horror movies or doing anything like enjoying some pumpkin spice lattes or whatever. Oktoberfest. Just try and look at the good things that are happening and don't watch anything about politics, and just try and forget about the pandemic. And
unless you're watching the pandemic special.
All right, the South Park pandemic special is very funny. They nailed everything about making fun of what's going on now. So anyway, if you're a fan of South Park, even if you're not, it's pretty funny. But
it is. It's really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, Well, all right then, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, listening to our pod once again. I'm hoping we're going to have a giveaway here soon. I was contacted. I responded. I have not gotten a response. It is for a movie that is direct to video right out the gate. And so they're being very, I don't want to say stringent, but they're being very selective on who they're giving codes to. But I entered us into it. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. But don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on the socials, like our stuff, share our stuff, get us more listeners so we can have more giveaways, so we can afford to keep doing this, so we can keep going to the movies at the theaters if they ever come out with more, hopefully soon. If not, we'll just keep doing the streaming stuff. But next week, The Lost Boys. Check it out. Watch it with us. It's going to be a freaking blast. So let's see here. Mike, what do I say? What do you say? Go out and watch all the movies?
Yeah. Go out and watch as many movies as you can. That's what I say.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I got it. All right, everybody, go out and watch as many movies as you can.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Good morning, Magic 99.1. Who's this?
This is Mrs. Voorhees.
Yeah, right. It's Matty and Cha from the Real Film Nerds podcast. How are you, Matt?
I'm okay. How are you doing this morning, Lisa?
You know what? I'm doing great. It's a Monday morning, fresh start of the week. I don't know. What can I say?
How many horror movies did you watch this weekend?
0.
0?
Ask me how many holes of golf I played this weekend. That's a better question.
112.
Not quite, but close. So tell me.
Close. Nice.
Yeah, well, not close really, but anyway, you watched Friday the 13th, the original, and dang it, I don't know what my problem is, Matt. 2 hours for a movie, I just can't do it right now. I don't know why. I guess it's the weather. The weather's still so nice.
It's not 2 hours. It's an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. All right. Well, tell me, was it as good as you remembered?
Heck yeah. I love Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's the original summer camp slasher. It's great.
That's awesome. So anything stand out that didn't before?
I have to say, one of the things that I really enjoy about this film is that you don't find out who the killer is until the very, very end. I mean, you don't even get a glimpse. Like, they tell the story every single time they, decide to take out an innocent camper like Kevin Bacon.
Right.
They tell the story from the perspective of the murderer, which is extremely unique.
Right.
So
give me something else.
Give you something else.
Yeah.
Have you never seen it? I mean, I don't want to ruin the whole thing.
Well, I saw it, but I think I saw it when it came out. And how many years has that been, Matt?
It came out in 1980.
Is that really 40 years?
Well, it's close, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was just a young pup back then.
Officially 40 years because it came out May 9th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I remember the whole premise of it, and I remember the hockey mask, right?
Well, except for that's what I was going to touch on. I mean, I don't want to ruin the movie, but, the cool thing about Friday the 13th, it's known for, Jason and his hockey mask and his machete, but none of those things are in this movie. And, I mean, Jason is, but at the very, 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 very end. That's why it's so, surprising because, there's this huge franchise of, 10 films of Jason murdering all these people except for this one.
Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because those are the two things that I associate with the film for sure.
Right, and he's barely in this one.
Barely. All right, how many reels are you going to give it?
Oh, I love it. I give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. You're not going to go 4.5, huh? Or 4.7?
I was thinking, I can't do 0.7. I try to stick to the halves, try to keep it, even.
Yeah, okay.
But I give it 4. I mean, they got to change some things. Like, it's, they roll into it and it says present day, and it's like, no, it's not present day.
Okay. Do you think they should update it?
Well, they've done an update. I haven't watched it. They did a remake in 2009, I believe. Okay. And I have not watched it because I love this one so much.
Well, what are you doing? I think you should watch it and let us know.
I don't know if I should. I might destroy it.
It might destroy it.
It might destroy me.
That's hilarious. All right. What's on tap this week for the Horror Film Festival.
Harvest Horror Fest.
Harvest
episode number 3.
Horror Harvest Fest. Harvest Horror
Close
Fest.
enough.
Okay, good enough.
There you go.
What are you going to watch?
Next week, we are going to do the comedy horror vampire film, again from the late 80s, The Lost Boys.
Now that's one I can get on board with.
Okay, so it's the Kiefer Sutherland, isn't it? Do you like Kiefer?
No, it was the dark-haired guy, the tall one. I don't remember his name.
The dark-haired guy, the tall one?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
He looks just
terrible,
like
Lisa.
Scott Dandos.
You mean Jason Patrick?
Yes, Jason Patrick. Yes, he's my favorite.
Okay, well, see, now you have an assignment. You better do your homework this week.
Okay, I will watch Lost Boys. I remember that film, and it was fantastic.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Well, so are you, Matt Hinshaw. Guys, catch his podcast. It's called The Real Film Nerds. You can catch him here every Monday morning on what station, Maddie?
The spooky
Ooh.
Magic 99.1.